Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Starting with the great name of Almighty Allah, who is the most beneficial and most merciful. Assalamu alaikum. I am a student of University of Sindh from Faculty of Education. This presentation is made by Duaa Masood, assigned by respectable Sir Dr. Amjad Ali Arain. Today, my presentation topic is the scope of guidance and counseling. So, what is the scope of guidance? What is guidance and what is counseling? Let's see. First, here are the table of contents. Number 1, in this presentation we have definition of guidance, then main objectives of guidance, scope of guidance, three main types of guidance, definition of counseling, then main objectives of counseling and scope of counseling. So first, what is guidance? Definition: guidance is a process of helping young person learners to adjust to self, to others, and to circumstances. This definition is given by B.F. Skinner. Guidance is a term with many meanings. It is a point of view, a group of services, a field of study which we should be required to choose one of the emphasis. Guidance is a process of enabling each individual to understand his abilities and interests to develop them as well as possible. Guidance is a process of helping a person to develop and educate picture of himself. What is the main objective of guidance? Guidance is concerned with maximum development of the individual to make his own decisions. As a process, it makes the individual aware of his abilities and potentials. Now, what is the scope of guidance? The scope of guidance is too wide. The word of crow and crow, guidance touches every aspect of an individual's personality, whether it is physical, it's mental, it's emotional, or social. It is concerned with all aspects of an individual's attitude and behavior. Any needy person can be guided. This can include the persons of different age, different interest, various characteristics, and persons of different natures. It seeks to help the individual to integrate all of his activities in terms of his basic potentials and environmental opportunities. The following factors are responsible for the expansion of the scope of guidance. Number 1, complex nature of personality. Industrialization brings with a number of tensions such as adjustment of work, job with the physical and social environment. So, it is known as complex nature of personality. To cope up with all these, guidance is essential. So the scope of guidance in the field of adjustment in complex nature of personality has increased. Number 2, complexity of occupation. In the process of industrialization, automation, many occupations are coming up, and a few old occupations, an average man changes 7 occupations through his life. The trend is bound to affect as the process of development will need very complex. Number 3 is the expansion of education. What is the expansion of education? Nowadays, when only a few were educated, now education has become assist for the nation, and right placement of persons need a lot of guidance, where teacher is a guider for students. Then we have complexity of training. For the new job, new types of training, new courses of studies, in new types of machines, in new jobs, all have to prepare oneself for employment in the changing world are some of the problems which will have to be tackled in an effective way. The scope of guidance will be put right man in the right job. This is the complexity of training. What is less of self esteem? Some persons have less of self esteem, that's why they need guidance. Next and last is areas of guidance, including social, vocational, and health guidance. The scope of guidance is classified into several areas where an individual needs guidance. It classified into educational guidance, vocational guidance, personal guidance, health guidance. Thus, guidance is a continuous and complex process. The three main types of guidance. The scope of guidance is classified into three main types or areas where an individual needs guidance. These types are educational guidance, vocational guidance, and personal guidance. Number one is educational guidance. What is educational guidance? It refers to the guidance that a child or student need during his school life. Also, it helps them to solve the problems that they face in school. Every aspect of school education is strongly related to educational guidance. Vocational guidance. It helps children to know what they are capable of and what they can become in life. And this ultimately depend on what they are capable to do in their school life. This is type of guidance where a person know his or her strength and weakness. What is personal guidance? It refers to the type of guidance where an individual overcome their problem on their own. They, they need personal guidance. In the case of personal guidance, we observe that it is not an easy task, and the total development of an individual's personality depend on the development of personal habits and attitudes. That's why most of the individuals face problems in their life because less of personal guidance. What is counseling? There are two definitions of counseling. First is given by strong face-to-face relationship in which growth takes place, the counselor as well as the counselee. Number second definition is given by Robinson. The term counseling covers all type of two-person situations in which one person, the client, is helped to adjust more effectively to help himself and his environment. So counseling is a term where two persons take part, a counselee and a counselor. What are the main objectives of counseling? The main objective of counseling is to bring about a voluntary change in client to organizing himself as to attain a particular form of adjusting to a life situation or in short self-actualization. Counselor helps counselee to discover and solve his personal problems independently. What is the scope of counseling? Counseling has a wide scope. It's a part of guidance, so it has all the same dimensions of scope as guidance. Besides these, counseling is required to solve a variety of social problems. Scope of counseling is very vast. It is concerned with various problems and progress of an individual. For example, the plan relating to financial and health problems, problems related to family, society, and emotional adjustment. Counseling is necessary in different areas like marriage issues, weaker sections, disadvantaged group, drug addiction, etc. A main question is where counseling needs and why counseling needs. In the case of anxiety, in the case of anger management, for depression, for relationship issues, either it's personal or interpersonal, in sexual abuse recovery, in stress management, for extended family relationships and life stages and transitions. In these all areas, a person needs counseling. by a counselor, by a guider. That's why guidance and counseling needs for a person who have problems in their life. Thank you for listening me.